It took Hillary Clinton a long time to move from dismissing the email fiasco to finally apologizing with ABC's David Muir.
Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something? Well, no.
Is this an indication that this issue isn't going to go away for the remainder of your campaign?
Nobody talks to me about it, other than you guys.
Are you sorry? Do you want to apologize to the American people for the choice you made?
Well, it wasn't the best choice, and I certainly have said that. I will continue to say that.
And when voters were asked, what is the first word that comes to mind when you think of Hillary Clinton? Words like liar, dishonest, untrustworthy were at the top of the list. Does this tell you that your original explanation about the private server, that you did it to carry one phone out of convenience, that this didn't sit well with the American people?
That was a mistake. I'm sorry about that. I take responsibility.
Steve Hayes, almost everyone in the media said Hillary had to apologize, so she finally does, and many pundits say it wasn't enough, it wasn't sincere, she did it because of a focus group. Your thoughts?
It wasn't enough. It wasn't sincere. She did it because of a focus group.
You're included in that group.
Look, I mean, you know, they broadcast this to the New York Times. They told the New York Times that she was going to be changing her approach to the campaign. We were going to get a more authentic Hillary, a more emotive Hillary. There was this focus group. A couple days later, she apologizes. What I think is most interesting, and I think this hasn't been highlighted enough in the reporting on this, is she changed her tone. She didn't change the substance of her argument. She said, I'm sorry, this was a mistake. That's a change of tone. There's some contrition there. She didn't say this wasn't allowed. She didn't change the substance of any of her arguments or of her defense on that, which I think is an interesting point.
Since you brought up that New York Times article, headline, Hillary Clinton to show more humor and heart, aides say. Let me ask Dana Milbank, what do you make of officials, people who work for her, on the record, announcing to the press another Hillary reinvention?
I suggested that she should fire anybody who's suggesting that sort of thing rather than saying, candidate, why don't you go out there and be spontaneous? Let's go to the New York Times and say, we are going to orchestrate things so that she can appear to be spontaneous. So that is a disastrous thing. And
she'd be firing a lot of people because everybody from the campaign manager on down was quoted.
It would appear that she might want to just start again just being herself. I have to say, I don't get this whole apology thing. I mean, you apologize to somebody when you've insulted them or you've stepped on their toe. She didn't do a wrong to the American people in that way. It was a stupid thing that she did. She's handled it extremely badly. I don't get the whole media obsession with getting people to apologize. I don't see what that gets you.
Why don't you pick up on that?
I call it the apology culture, and I think, like Dana says, most Americans are sick of that. It doesn't mean anything to them. The apology, A, doesn't change the deed, and B, most Americans don't find politicians' apologies sincere. They think it's another way of saying, I'm sorry I got caught, or I'm sorry that my poll numbers went down because of what I did.
Well, I've been saying for a couple of months that Hillary needed to do more national television interviews that she had once signaled after her kickoff at Roosevelt Island and talk about this. And instead, you know, she and her campaign appeared to be in the bunker. And remember, she said, as we saw a bit of it there, this was a media-driven story. The campaign said it was nonsense. The campaign attacked the New York Times, reporting some discrepancies that the FBI was looking into it. But now there's a full-blown FBI investigation, so maybe there is something to apologize for.
Well, but does the apology matter? Despite the fact that she may have apologized or she may say the people are confused, I think the bigger picture that is upsetting to her detractors and critics is the fact that she plotted and even planned to start a private server that would be off the grid, where she would then filter things, and then to erase the things only when the specter of the Benghazi committee was being formed, not as her yoga appointments passed, but much later to wipe everything clean.
I agree with Cheryl and Dana about the apology culture. But in this instance, I think she did.
You feel that way.
That's regrettable.
But in this instance, I think she really did have something to apologize for. A, because of what she did. I mean, she clearly set up this private server. It doesn't change anything other than the story, right? So now we're talking about the apology. So I agree with that. It doesn't change the story substantively. But I do think she has something to apologize for.
I think she's very sorry she did it.
She's sorry she did it because she got caught.
A different media aspect. Does it help her now, spontaneous Hillary Clinton, to go on Ellen DeGeneres' show, to dance, Ellen gushing over her, Hillary saying, I'm running for many reasons, but one of them is that I am a woman? Just briefly.
Sure, go on the late shows, go on the Ellen show. Just stop telegraphing everything you're doing and stop changing and having a different flavor every week, because then no matter what you are, you appear inauthentic. Actually, she can be funny. She can be warm. So just let her do it.
Yeah, do it in front of the cameras, however. Dana Milbank, Steve Hayes, Cheryl Atkinson of Full Measure. Thanks very much.